Hey vinyl community, this is my first video. I've been poked and prodded by EoLoVox and Vinyl Harry into joining the fun. It was actually my mate Harry who put me onto the community. Told me I ought to take a look at it, see what's going on, because of the mutual interest we have, and clearly a lot of people around the world have also got. Loved watching some of the videos. Rob in Illinois, great guy, very similar taste to me. We were born about the same time, so we've lived through the same times. And other people like Rob in Boston, Panics 1960. What really got me enthusiastic about the whole thing initially was listening to, watching his video about Live Aid from an American perspective, and obviously I look at it from a British, and I can remember it very, very well. But there's always interesting videos to watch, and I consider myself very lucky to live in great times where the access to music and the access to vinyl, it's considered to be a dying art form by some, but it isn't, it clearly isn't. Just a bit about myself. I always listened to music when I was young. My mum always encouraged that, particularly. I remember taping Paul McCartney and Wings off the radio when Jet came out, probably 74, something like that, 73, 74. And it's a common question amongst music fans. What was the first record you bought? Well, I don't look at it in that way. I look at it more, what was the first record that made you feel that you'd signed up to the whole thing? And I always consider it, I got my first job when I was 16, and I was working in a supermarket Friday nights for 3 hours and all day Saturday, and I got paid about £8, which translating is probably about $11–12. And the following week we went away on holiday for a week with my parents, and we went to a sleepy seaside town in the southwest of England called Ilfracombe, and they got a local Woolworths. And the first record that I bought that started me on this journey, and I've never stopped buying records ever since then really, week in, week out, month in, month out, was this, Breakfast in America by Supertramp. Supertramp are a British group who recorded the album in Los Angeles. This sold over 20 million copies in the end. But I was sort of fascinated. I borrowed it previously, so it wasn't a big risk. I borrowed it previously off a friend, and so I knew all the songs. But it's often considered to be a satirical comment about America. I don't know what the satire is supposed to be, because the band have always denied that it is. I've never seen it that way. I always see it more interestingly as highlighting what at the time, because there wasn't the communication there is now, it was a country we knew very well because we saw it all the time, Starsky and Hutch and Kojak and things like that in the 70s. But the artwork, this lady, she's an actress, I can't remember her first name, her surname is Murtaugh, depicting the Statue of Liberty, the breakfast showing which is supposed to be the Manhattan skyline, even the picture on the diner on the bike. All these things were very alien to a kid growing up in the late 70s. So it was a really interesting album, great artwork, and this is why vinyl is better than any other form of recorded music. Although I'm not one of these zealots that I think all of it's good, but I just prefer the vinyl myself. And the other thing that I consider myself fortunate is the ease of access to music, really, in many ways. Because I was watching, I think he's called Adam, I think he lives in Ohio, Planet Jandal is his name, and he built some shelves with his dad, which I thought was great. That is the way you invest a bit of yourself in these things. And he was saying, I've only got a small collection, 600 records. Well, I was thinking back in the day, if you bought a vinyl album, it was usually £4 or £5. So you've got £3,000 worth of a collection there which is valuable, and the amount of man hours and person hours that went into making that, the artwork, is phenomenal. And the other thing to illustrate the difference is that when I said that I earned £8 for what I thought was quite a long time of work. In October of 1979, I bought this album, Rush Archives, which was a compilation of the first 3 Rush albums. Rush with the late John Rutsey on drums, Fly By Night and Crest of Steel. And because it was quite, I thought it felt quite fragile sleeve, I went and bought one of these plastic covers which were rubbish really. And for some obscure reason, I don't do this normally, weird behaviour, I actually kept the receipt. So I know that I bought this on the 13th of October 1979 and I paid £6.49 for it. And I was only taking home like a week, £8. So it was a big commitment at the time. But anyway, that started me off on a 33-year journey to get me to where we are now. And for the rest, right through the 80s till sort of the late 80s, I was buying vinyl. And then I fell for the record company propaganda and started buying CDs and pretty much stopped buying vinyl. And that carried on until about 5 years ago. 4 years ago maybe, and I bought, somebody offered me a small collection of about 70 albums in vinyl, and I bought them, and my wife and I, we spent days listening to them, and we took out the ones we wanted, and we thought, this is great, and then I just started buying vinyl again. I still buy the odd CD, they're great and convenient for the car, but there's something about vinyl. The smell of it, the artwork, the sound of it, even the slight imperfections in it. So that's me. It's a massive thank you to everybody out there who's had who's set me into. I can't believe the thing's been going. I looked at Mr. Hall of Fame. I love his videos. They're like a natural in front of camera. There was an article in the Sunday Times a month or so ago, which said, is YouTube the future of television as we know it? And watching Mr. Hall of Fame's videos and Rob EoLoVox videos, I think there could well be some truth in that, because these people are getting right to the heart of people's interests and you can access it. But to everybody who's made videos and put them up and had the guts, and especially the young guys on here, that's another thing. The breadth. When I was at school, there were boundaries between music. If you like punk, you didn't really like metal or heavy rock. If you like pop, you weren't really a serious music fan. These guys know no boundaries. They'll pick up a Perry Como album, and then they'll pick up a Ink Spots album, and then it can be Roxy Music or Moody Blues or Def Leppard, and there's no boundaries. It's just brilliant, and they can spend £1, and you can take a risk on £1. It was a big risk back in the day for me. But anyway, thank you to everybody. I actually hope somebody watches this. I do intend to make quite a few videos over the next couple of days. I'll try and get up to speed. And I'll do a music room tour, which will tag on to this. And Rob in Illinois, thank you so much for being so encouraging and supportive. Thank you for what came in the post of the day. I will dwell on that as a separate video, because I've got some things I want to say about that. So, vinyl community, thanks for being there, that's all I can say.